legally and fraudulently and illegally. George W. Bush is correct because government is instituted to protect and govern the people. There are many ideologies and theoretical ways governments feel this is done best. That is why we have different forms of government like democracy, monarchy, imperialism, communism, totalitarianism, etc. But democracy is to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is to fight tyranny and injustice by the separation of power, limited power, and ruling terms. Democracy fallen. Democracy fails when we have breaches in government. To have crimes against humanity, political abuse of psychiatry, psychological warfare is to attack the judicial system and make limited power unlimited to better suit their needs by collaboration, fear, and indoctrination. It is treason to democracy. By saying the judicial system, we include the subcategories of the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, State Bureau of Investigation, and police. Solution to the problems we face today. 1. Polygraph test mandatory and focus on better technology for truth lie detection for anyone who makes a report to the police and state bureaus of investigation, federal bureaus of investigation, and anyone who speaks in a court setting, as well as the police, state bureaus of investigation, and FBI. When it comes to making claims toward an individual, we see stuff like this in our beginnings as a country by making someone put their hand on the Holy Bible and swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. A digital archive held in every state capital to store for at least 100 years, but ideally forever. It would not take up too much space with today's technology and monitor for serious crimes and abuse of power, and used for evidence if someone claims abuse even years later. The government can pull up the tape and show it to the court. The digital archive would have priorities such as governmental buildings and schools with no blind spots, so even cameras in the classrooms, but would contain city footage as well. Behavioral laws, we have some like defamation, for example, but would extend to media as in less demoralization and fake reality, and more intellectual and prosperous creativity and humor, not dumbing people down, trying to create mimicry. We would indoctrinate the youth to be more intelligent and try to help them achieve their full potential, as well as give them a better way to live their life. A lot of abuse and neglect is because a child's mind is molded and they are not raised right. We would try to fix this to create a better nation as a whole. The United States of America has the highest prison population per capita in the world, and this is the direct fault of the United States by corruption and lack of care for others. It might even show they wickedly get a profit off the incarceration by the expense of the American people. Using them as a battery by extension maybe limit people as to the jobs they can attain by if they cannot act civilized and obey the laws and rights and be a decent human being, they would not be able to get certain jobs in the government because of likely abuse of power in general, starting with watching them as kids from kindergarten through 12th grade at school and school-related events to increase integrity and virtue of all kinds. Laws are for the civilized, and it's about time we lived by it. Anarchy is what those in power are using with no repercussions because they do not deserve their spot and they're not raised right. People of power are spoiled brats running about with a terroristic, cancerous attitude, which with the means to enforce it. Democracy is the most wise form of government because its strength comes from the separation of power. It is to fight tyranny and justice and is to fight tyranny and injustice and not to embrace it. A nation under God is what America defines itself under. Our founding fathers understood that tyranny comes from excess liberty. I hate socialism because it is laziness and abuse, and is abused by people and the government to target people. A flaw in national security is a lack of concrete and everything abstract. For example, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. It is to say I can do whatever I want, and if you disagree, you must be a terrorist. It is quite simply the abuse of power, indoctrination, and blurring, twisting of words. It is to flip the script on the victim. Privacy equals security, for example, reading someone's mind. Now, it sounds crazy, but if people read your mind, the government, it's a violation of privacy and unlawful search and seizure. But to tell civilians, that's even worse. Though I feel Christianity is attacked, to quote Ephesians 6:12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1 through 3, "Dare any of you having a matter against the unjust, dare any of you having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust, and not before the saints. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And the world shall be judged by you. Are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life?" 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and know not and have not charity, I am become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal." Hypocrisy in America, the arrogance of man, the cruelty. Why have a government if it is worthless and virtueless? Acting like a good man has to hold your hand to make you act right. You have disgraced and twisted the ground you walk on. To be a terrorist is an abomination. Proverbs 6:16-19 says, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yes, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deceiveth wicked imaginations, deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren." All of them Bible verses might seem stupid to you, but America was founded on the religion of Christianity, and I believe that's significant. And I believe Christianity is attacked in America. And all those who want to say, well, look at these Christians, look what they say. Well, you can be attacked and be a part of the group. It's infiltration.